Yeah.
They're just orbiting
So
me.
listen. At least my two people are active.
Little Rock,
Lewis said
Arkansas.
something.
Yo, Christy B is from Little Rock, Arkansas.
What
Shout
time
out
is
to
it?
Little
Wait,
Rock,
we got to go
Arkansas.
live. Look, stay here. I'm gonna share the link in a minute. All right.
Yo, shout out to
how do I
LA.
stop? What button I smashed to stop the live? How do
Look,
I?
You don't even know.
Oh, finish. There it is. Woo! I did that. So listen.
You trying to buy drinks right now? What?
Turn up.
Come on, you better. Are you? What drinks are you getting? What kind of drink do you get? Free Cloud. Shout out to Lauren. She's doing her yoga class like soon. Damn, I wish I could go. Shout out to Lauren. She was a guest on our show. She did Reiki.
Are you live, yo?
Yep.
How you gonna go live and not tell us?
We not live. It's 6:28. We should not go live right now.
I know, right?
We're still mingling with our people.
I know.
Come on, DC.
Disrespect.
E306. What's up? We've known each other for quite some time.
All right, how do I share this,
I
Joe?
want to give y'all time to get
From back in the
But
day.
tell us. We in this thing. Juwan, how we sound? Like, let me put my headphones on.
Right.
Look, Fueled and went live on us for
we
no
going-
reason.
We are live?
Yeah,
Oh, we live. All right.
we
So
live. We out here.
I'm gonna
We
put
out
it.
here.
I'm gonna put the link in the bio. Once again, we're about to go live. We're talking prison reform today with Mr. Kiana Calloway. It's gonna be a very informative, powerful conversation. Please tune in if you get a chance. If not, it'll be up live tomorrow and all that. But if you come in live today, we'll be able to chat and you'll be able to be part of the conversation.
Shout out Nick in the building.
So I'm gonna put the
Appreciate
link in the
love,
bio.
Nick.
And yeah, so we're talking, like I said, we're talking prison reform. It's a very this is the beauty about the JD and Kai show. Last week we were talking about who to blame for bad sex.
It just came up.
And we were talking about sex and all types of fun things. And then today we're talking prison reform. And then a couple weeks ago we were talking Reiki. A couple weeks ago we had a powerful conversation with Mr. Siaka about he's a Republican, conservative,
a black Republican who says that a lot of the black struggle is, what is it, victim mentality?
Yes.
Are you talking to your live? Or are you talking to us on like?
No, I'm talking to my live.
Okay.
Yes, that was a
everyone else share this link. We're gonna get Kai off the mic on her live, and so we could talk to our real live.
We're tuning in now. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Tune in. The link will be in the bio in like a minute.
Yes.
Okay,
share this link if you're here already. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, also in the comments, Fuel, Nick said our show is much better, and she is going to watch this from now on all the time. That's what she said. She just said it. No, but you don't have the same comments I got. I got these are the good comments. you got the it'll come up. Just watch.
They get tired of looking at this JD and Kai sign then.
Well, because you put it up early.
No, I'm saying so since you don't look at come to y'all all the time. I'm just teasing. Anyway, come on.
right.
If you cannot hear Fuel in the background, he is just causing trouble right now. But anyway, this time is for you to share. So share this link. We have a great show on New Orleans in the building. My people, all my cousins, family members in Louisiana, y'all better tap in. Kiana is from New Orleans, so he's going to be talking about a lot of the things that he's doing out in Louisiana. So the boot, stand up, we got you represented. I think this camera's out, Fuel. I still don't see it.
Oh, you on there?
There we go. I'm so pretty. Listen, don't repeat that I just did that. Listen, I'm excited. That's what we do when we get excited.
Right. I guess.
So I'm sharing this to one more place, and then we're gonna get this started because we do have a lot to unpack. Like I said, we're gonna kind of we're gonna go through obviously our current events, and then we're gonna bring in Kiana and talk to him about a lot of the great things that he's doing. He's doing a lot of great things, and I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it. But let me share this. You share it too. Do what I'm doing. Kai.
Yes.
What's up?
What up, everybody?
I'm just saying.
Oh, no?
No, go ahead. Go in with it.
Hold on. I'm writing a post. There's so much stuff to do. I feel like, the first 2 minutes of the show is always like,
right.
Share, do.
And it'll be even better if Fuel didn't just make us go live when he wanted to.
But then, it'd be like that little... We do need some intro music. Guys, if you are a producer out there...
Oh, hold on.
I want to do some intro music first.
Let me hit us some intro music right quick.
Feel free to do it.
Let me hit this. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Come on.
Ready? What we got? I don't know. What did I do last time?
Oh my gosh, this sounds like a video game loop.
It is. It's just a little generic loop on this little thing I got.
Good evening to Marcus McFadden. Is that your friend? Good evening to everyone.
Put your booty in the air.
Say what?
Put your booty in the air.
Uh-huh.
Put your booty in the air.
Uh-huh.
Put your booty in the air.
Uh-huh.
Hey. All right, let's stop this. That's madness. Madness. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm actually done sharing this to everyone that I wanted to share it with. If you have not, then you suck at this because I'm slow. Well, not slow like that. Don't laugh like that. What do you mean? I meant slow typing and sharing at the same time. So,
yes.
First things first.
Our Papa freaks all the honeys, bunnies,
we got bunnies. Those one and money. Those the ones I like because they don't get Nathan for penetration. All right. Anyway,
okay.
We free, Kai.
We free.
How do you feel?
Yeah, the same. No.
Right. So
we are free.
So one of the biggest things, if you haven't known, from I think it was June 15th, the restrictions have been lifted in California. Amen. So we back outside. I actually I've been outside, so I don't really feel any different. But the big question is, do you feel like now that distractions are back about, do you feel like it's going to be tough to stay focused?
Oh, the distractions is out. Okay. Right. First of all, I went somewhere on Tuesday. There was like 3 events that night.
Right.
That I knew of. So I'm sure there was 1,000 events going on.
Right.
Yeah. And I went to one event that I normally frequent. Shout out to Emmy Seacrest and her Tuesday night event. She had it all pandemic, but there was something different about Tuesday night.
Right.
There was like tables. It's usually it's been an outdoor situation. There were VIP tables and it felt like a bar and a club.
Wow.
And it was full of people and nobody was wearing a mask. Right. Nobody was wearing a mask.
It's yet another event that Kai didn't invite us to. But anyway, continue. Just continue with your story. It's fine. We don't hang like that. It's cool.
First of all, I've been told, no, don't let them fool you out, people. No.
She don't invite us. Hey, Varsha, in the building.
Hey,
Louisiana,
Varsha.
I need y'all. Our guest is from New Orleans, so stay close. We talk about Louisiana. We talking about it. Go ahead, sorry.
So anyway, it was just a lot of people and nobody was wearing a mask. And I'm kind of caught in the fence. I'm still being cautious.
Yeah, well, because I think the first thing to say when your city opens up, or if you're here in LA, just because the COVID restrictions are lifted doesn't mean you can't still get COVID. So be careful. Like, you aren't forced to do certain things, but that doesn't mean be careless. So I'm still in and out.
How do you feel? Because you're vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated.
Right.
So I still feel like I can catch it at any moment.
Well, I still can
be...
too. I just may not die. Like the vaccination doesn't really protect me. I can still pass it. I can still get it. It just may not be as bad.
No, because people are seriously like, well, I'm vaxxed.
Right.
Vaxxed.
Right.
I hate how, like, as people, as humans, we like put little pet names and stuff.
Right.
Like, it's not cute to be I'm vaxxed.
Nick says she's wearing her mask. Are you guys going to stay masked up? What are y'all doing? How is it in Louisiana? Louisiana, Texas, and the South? I know they've since the whole pandemic, they can't enforce masks. So they can't. So there's a lot of people in the South that are just like, I'm not wearing my mask.
Georgia's been open.
Right.
Georgia never closed. Right. Georgia never closed.
Nick, where are you? Where's Nick?
San Diego.
Oh, she's in San Diego. So you out here with us.
It's part of her outfit. Right. My mask is now part of my outfit.
Right. Shout out Marcus McFadden in the building. I appreciate you joining. Your mama and them here. Oh, I wanted to your parents. I want to say last week, I was joking and kind of making the joke about Louise and Patricia. But as I watched it, I would cringe because I said their first names. Like I'm Southern, so I would usually call them Mr. and Mrs. Martinez or Marquez. Which one is
Martinez Marquez? But Martinez
Marquez. I can say that. I got that.
Marquez. Martinez Marquez. There you go.
We got it. Come on. I'm a good kisser.
You got this. Come on, Anna.
But I wanted to say that I felt disrespectful by saying their first names, and it was good for the joke, but I wanted to say like I don't really like addressing you guys like that. So my apologies. And it was still funny though.
Yeah,
it was still funny.
In the Latin culture, you would say Don Luis.
Don Luis.
Don Luis or
that sounds
Doña
gangster.
Patricia. Don Luis. Don, you know what I mean?
That sounds gangster.
But yeah, my mom was like, hey, I come in and I just comment. I say, hi guys, and that's it. And then you give me a little shout out and that's it. So shout out to my mom. Right. She is like, I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm
The
doing
bare
what-
minimum,
I'm like,
yeah.
no, you gotta watch the show.
So yeah, so I feel like I feel like other than distractions, I'm kind of happy to be open again. But I guess I'm trying to figure out how to be, right? Do I
Right.
wear the mask? Do I not wear the mask? And especially in LA, you can get swallowed up in this city because there's always something going on. So
Right.
what are you gonna do? Well, like, how are you gonna keep yourself focused?
First of all, your hand's in my shot. I was trying to.
I was wondering what she was signaling.
I was trying to swipe him. It's like when you're trying to be like, trying to be cool with it, and I was like, all right, get out my shot,
Let me see where it is.
Get out my shot.
That's
you
not
see it?
No.
Is that? Well, there it is. You
Anyway, focus. We got a lot of show to get
He's
to.
like putting his hand. Okay. I'm staying focused. I am, even before the pandemic, I did have a balance of going out, and I feel it in my spirit, in my body when I'm doing too much.
Right.
Like this last weekend, I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah.
I partied every night.
Yeah.
Weekend.
She was out there. So I'm
I was
saying it to
in
you.
these
Be
streets.
careful. You
But
can
I'm still with the same people that
Right.
I've been with the whole pandemic. Granted, everyone's now with other people and it's not so like tight knit anymore.
Yeah.
But, for me, it was just a lot of going out. So yeah, I'm still careful, but you just never know. So it's finding that balance for yourself.
So what do you feel like is going to change? Do you think anything in your life is going to change? Because for me, like I was teasing her earlier, but for me, I'm practically married, and the only reason we're not married is because of COVID. But I'm practically married, and I'm completely happy being at home. And I don't really need to go out. I don't need to go into any so I don't really feel like my life is going to change too much.
Right.
But there also is now, what are we going to do? That conversation, like with the family, like, oh, let's go to the zoo. It's like, oh, we can't, COVID.
Right.
But now you have to
just being careful and
Right.
being, I don't know if I'll be going to, super public places.
You
Because
gonna
in
be in them
general,
streets.
I like to keep it kind of low key. I like to go to the beach. I like to go hiking. I like to go to dinner. But like the bars and stuff, it's just.
Do you feel like you were more productive during COVID? Because I definitely feel like
different.
it was one of the most productive.
It was
years.
productive for me, like filling my time up with stuff.
Right.
But it was for work. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I think now work is starting to come back. I'm starting to get these self tapes again. I'm starting to get this work. We're starting to do production. I know.
Can you tell us what that was?
No, I can't.
Okay.
We'll see. I'll tell you if I book
You always got secrets.
I got
I'm trying to know. You always got secrets.
I have another current event
Okay.
that I want to get to real quick, and
All
I want
right.
everyone's opinion on, because so last week last week
Yeah.
the film In the Heights came out, and it has been met with a lot of conflicting opinions.
Flag. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of flack on the or the lack of representation of the Afro-Latino community in the leads of the film.
Right.
Right. I saw the film last night, and I will just give my opinion out there. I am Latina. I am Colombian. I am from New York City. I'm from Queens, so I'm not from Washington Heights, but I frequent Washington Heights quite a bit. My whole life there.
Right.
And I will say that I have to agree with how the representation of the leads was.
Yeah. So it's basically about the area. That area.
Yes, traditionally,
Should be a
not
lot
even
more
traditionally,
darker.
traditionally, and specifically like Dominicans in Washington Heights. Washington Heights, period, is a very Black Latino community.
Right.
And anyone who grew up in New York or grows up in New York, no matter where you are, if you go there, you'll see that.
Right.
I'm in Jackson Heights, where I'm from. There's more Colombian, Mexican, Ecuadorian. It's a little bit different there.
Right.
But traditionally, Washington Heights has been an Afro-Latino community.
Okay.
So while a lot of my friends are in it, and shout out to all my friends who are dancers in it, they rep New York like crazy. It was so amazing to see the people from my city dancing in the Heights, and it was just a beautiful thing in Latino community, all of the things.
Right.
But I will have to say that I do agree with the general consensus of lack of representation for the Afro-Latino community.
How do you think? What do you think fixes that? Like, what do you think? What if there wasn't that many darker people that applied, or went for an audition?
I mean, well, and one of
the
the actresses said that,
Yeah.
and we really won't know.
Yeah.
We really truly won't know. But that's a very it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting comment. We don't know who is in the audition rooms.
Yeah.
We don't know, but to say that there was nobody, not even like Dominican or Latinos that could play a role, one of those roles, that can sing, that can dance, that can act and fill in that role. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head at the beginning when we talked about it, and you said you can't make everybody happy.
You can't.
Right? And I think as long as you can prove that you tried,
right,
or that you did look for darker, like that's all we asked. I mean, that's how you shut it down, right? Because it could look like, all right, you made everybody look lighter because lighter is better or something, but if you could just show, we actually did want, some darker skin, but we just didn't get that many that were qualified.
I feel, I mean, yes, but I also feel like there's something even wrong with that statement.
Yeah.
And not to say you're making that statement, only because a lot of people are making that statement,
right.
And then it's almost like, well, it just doesn't feel, it doesn't sit right in my
spirit. At this day
spirit.
and age, you have to be prepared for it, right?
But yes, you can't make everyone happy.
Exactly, it's cancel culture, and I think you have to be ready to answer that question.
But I will say that it is important to have these conversations.
Right.
These are conversations we haven't had in the past. These are things we haven't brought up in the past as a community, not just the Latin community, but the community period.
Yeah.
And, we were talking about this earlier off air, and even Fuel was saying how I think the American public doesn't see the Black Latino community. You don't know that it exists. A lot of Americans don't know that it exists. So maybe it doesn't seem like that much of a big deal.
Mm.
But that's how muted the Afro-Latino community is in Latin America and in media.
I used to go to the club and I would tell people. I used to go to the club and I tell people I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Right.
I thought it like this, and I say I think like
you could even be Colombian.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I do it. I tell a guy, and I love you, beautiful girl, and I dance with you. They love you.
Right. They love me. I need that.
What you want to say? Like, we got to bring up Kiana.
I was going to just say, just from outside of looking in, it was kind of like
back up from this damn mic. Stop sounding like God on my.
I didn't know that that there were that many dark, Latinos or whatever. And I kind of get the fact of why they mentioned it or said it to the directors of the show or whatever, because they probably didn't know. Of course, it's darker ones or whatever. So I can kind of understand the accusation. I mean, the problem behind it.
Right.
But I didn't think it should have been a controversial type of thing.
Yeah. On their show earlier, they actually brought it up, and he thought it was just. People are just being stupid. Like, it's not always about being Black.
I'm not gonna front. When I first heard it, I was like, "Oh man, here we go. We can't make everyone happy."
Right.
That was my thought when I first heard it. However, again, watching the film,
being from there,
and shout out to Lynn for he has done amazing things for bringing the Latin community to the forefront and giving the Latinos in general a platform to be creative.
Right.
Shout out to him. But if you he grew up in Washington Heights, to my understanding. So if anybody who grows up there, you just know, just see it. So it's a conversation to be had. And like I said, once I saw the film, did it accurately represent the experience that I've had being from New York and going to the Heights? Not fully.
Really.
So that's just all I'm going to say. But other than that, it's
a great movie. So check it out. I know Anna watched it. She loved it. She hates musicals. So if she watched it, you may love it. Fuel cried. So I would say go check it out. But let's get into this. We got Kiana on the end waiting for us. Again, I met him through a project that we did. It was for solitary confinement, and he was in the process of trying to stop solitary confinement for people with mental illness. And he also just passed legislation to stop the use of when you go in for a job and you have to check the I have a felony box. You no longer have to do that in Louisiana. And he's just doing big things in Louisiana, helping the youth. And he's just a good dude. So let's bring on Kiana Calloway. And I think we're going to have him pop on right here, wherever you can see him. Can you hear us, Kiana?
Yeah, I got y'all. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you feeling? We finally got you.
Hey, man. Blessed and highly favored. What you say? Yeah, go throw it away.
Is that the same? Yeah, let us say hi. Let us say hi. Let us get him in there.
Come through right quick.
Right? Is he playing sports?
I All right,
Not yet.
Since you got the answers, you come tell them.
So yes.
Hey,
So
what's up,
so
young
as he's
man?
making his way over,
He's right
obviously.
there.
Oh, is he in there?
He's there.
There we
He's
go.
there.
I see him. Actually, I don't see him yet.
He's there. He's looking behind you.
Oh, I want to see him on this. There we go.
Oh my
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Caden.
Caden. Nice to meet you, Caden.
Hey.
All right, Caden. It's like, you know that awkward moment when kids just look at you and it's like, all right,
Like,
cool.
give me more. What,
I ain't gonna ask you that.
you called me over here.
Hey,
Now,
what's up, y'all? You got something you want to tell me?
right.
Yeah, right. We just wanted to say hi, Caden. My bad to waste your time. Go do what you got to do.
He's a very busy young man.
I know, right? So yeah, I gave everyone a kind of a brief breakdown of who you are and a few things that you've done and how we met. But go ahead and tell everyone about yourself and a little bit about what your mission is.
Oh, word. Well, first off, thanks for having me. Man, I'm checking y'all out on the back end.
I had to give you some horns on that one.
Not holding it down. You give me the little noise.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let me get this in. All right.
you on double. Note that he's over there being a father too.
Amen.
Right now. So
yeah, he won't eat. I got things that I need to take care of. But anyway, I'm Kiana. Regular old guy. I've been impacted by the criminal justice system since an early age. Probably one in every 3 individuals in our community that look like me, black and brown, probably is directly or vicariously impacted by the criminal justice system. So I fall into that staple. My work consists of just being who I am, man, waking up every day feeling like it's my passion to do this. It's my why to do this. That's why I'm here. Not only to raise my own, but to try to give back to the best of humanity. Full restorations of all people, you know what I mean? Just basically grinding, whether it be through policy change, whether it be through system change, or whether it just be changing the hearts and minds of people who thought that way. Because we're living in a world right now where it's generationally, it's genetically a demise, but I think that we should be culture creators to pump generational wealth. Until instill inside them, and it don't have to be just financial, just walk it. So when you actually tell you who I am and what I do, I'm just Kiana. I don't wear a cape. I don't do anything extraordinary. It's just my mission to be prison abolitionist at this moment. You know what I mean? And
right. And give us, what's a few of the things that you've kind of impacted as you fight? I know you did a few things with solitary confinement. I just mentioned the felony thing. What are a few triumphs that you've had in this little fight that it was a big fight
journey.
that you in?
Yes,
this
amen.
journey.
And that's the thing, like being able to trust the journey, being able to trust the process. And it's not what I'm doing right now. It's just like staples and X's on this list of getting to the overall end goal,
which is
for equality, for all people, really, really kind of restructure the way that our government has inked into our mentality, and it made us all buy it.
Sorry, my bad. I gave you horns on that. It may have been inappropriate, but it was right. It was factual.
It definitely is right, and I may just keep going and going. But first off, before I get any deeper, I want to give a shout out to Element, my people. Young guy was mentoring. This August will make his 3rd year death. Young entrepreneur Devin Esperado died at 18. Died at 19. Died at 19. Entrepreneur. Got his drink in probably every store, all natural. Family recipe. So I definitely want to give a shout out to my dude. Let him know that I'm still giving him his roses right now while I'm on the show, because a lot of things that I do for them, man. Being able to prevent a Kiana from going through what I've been through, I think that is payment and joy within itself. Understanding that we've always been pushed and spoon-fed this narrative that the game is to be sold and not to be told. They've just been selling us bullshit all these years. You know what I mean? So it's time to be telling the game and not selling it. And that's why I'm here. I don't expect anything in gratitude. I don't expect no awards. You know what I mean? Just see me on the street and say, "Hey, Key, man, I love what you're doing," and that's my push.
I love what you're doing.
Being able, I think a lot of feats that I can kind of fall back on that I have accomplished since I've been free 10 years. was that I ended in one of Jim Crow's last extensions in Louisiana since 1898, which was the non-unanimous jury, where you could have been sent to prison for life for a 10-2 or 11-1. So now, since 2 years, a year and a half ago, maybe about, it takes 12, man, 12 of your own peers. And this year here, we passed a piece of legislation that also gravitized and gave the people that's currently on probation or parole or convicted of a felony an opportunity to serve on those juries. So it gives it a different lens, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Louisiana incarcerates more people than small countries, more of its citizens than small countries. Like we're the number one incarcerator in the world. So 1 out of every 3 people, like I said, I started off with that. 1 out of every 3 people that look like me are directly impacted, vicariously impacted. So it's huge.
Well, I just have where, because I've had this debate with a lot of different people, right? And it's really kind of those poverty-stricken areas. Where is the solution, right? I know you work with a lot of these guys, a lot of these young guys. Like, what are some things that we can maybe do to help, or like, what do you feel like needs to happen for this equality to kind of at least have breath?
I feel like right now, man, the way the pendulum is swinging, there's so much resources that's available right now. You know what I'm saying? If they can start diverting the resources that's allowed it to each state municipality to the right sources, you know what I mean? Because it seems like it comes down, but once it comes down, it get kind of stagnated at the top and start flickering. You know what I mean? Like it's not getting allocated to where it belongs. So I believe that working with grassroots organizations and grassroots local leaders and just regular community liaisons, man. They have so many of those out here in New Orleans and in Jefferson Parish that is crazy, man. You can step on the street and ask Peanut about what happened around the corner, and he'll sit down and tell you. You know what I mean? But he's telling you with good intentions. You know what I'm saying? He's telling you with ways that we can structure things. And if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. So people in Louisiana have been writing these menus for stomachs that they can't even identify with. You know what I mean? So how you gonna give me a hamburger when I'm practicing vegan? You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing, and they're force feeding to us. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of the biggest arguments that I have with people. You know, I mean, I told you about the friend of mine that I argued with about some of these things, but the media doesn't really cover how many people are actually working in these environments to help. Right? They're just kind of pointing at the people who are you just complaining. No one's helping themselves, and everybody's just crying, wolf. And it's like there are people that have always been fighting these fights to try to stop black on black violence. There's always been someone in there trying to mentor, but that narrative never gets told. It's always just, oh, well, you're just complaining, and as opposed to looking at it like people are just speaking out and trying to raise their voices to change their situation. Right? Do you feel like the media can help you any, or is there any kind of media attention that could probably help your struggle a little more, or the fight a little more? If you want to ask me.
I think that me personally, and this is just my personal view of it. That's why I don't indulge in any type of social media or anything, because I feel like the diversion of right now, and this is what I identify with the young men that I work with on an everyday basis. It's like the copycat personality. You know what I mean? Like I want to do what I want to see. It's not me being an entrepreneur or just an inventor. You know what I mean? It's more like young boy popping. You know what I mean? I want to pop like young boy, and everybody want to rap. Everybody, but the way that they're using, not saying that rapping is anything that's down with it or bad about it. It's just that the way that they're using this power, because being a person that has that many followers or that many influence and that many individuals, they tend to want that. And being right now to the media is doing what the media does. The media shows you what the media wants you to know, and then they alter that. That's why editing is so vicious. how me and you got in contact, JD. But
Yeah.
basically, it's really just understanding like how can we control our own narrative, So that's just like me. If I walk out my door and the media is right there, they're going to see me doing something that I always do, and that's helping. You know what I mean? Whether it's helping a lady with her bags in the car, or helping a young guy across the street, or just hopping out when I see a group of young men and try to figure out if they're familiar with their own life's path. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we all have to have maps. It just don't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time.
I have a question, since JD's been hijacking my
No.
interviews, but in a great way, in a great way. So how did you come to this like space in your life, and how did you feel that calling or for this purpose walk? You know what I mean? Like where did that inspiration come from, and then what continues to fuel that?
Well, I'm an expert in incarceration. I have a criminal justice degree.
Oh, wow.
Trying to kind of further that in this new institution that I've joined, which is called college. But 16 years of it, I was arrested, convicted at 17 for 2 counts of first-degree murder, armed robbery, and feticide. I was sentenced to life. I served maybe 7 years in Angola in the process of getting my case overturned and remanded back for another trial. That was in 2000. In 2000, I was found guilty again for a lesser crime, which was manslaughter, and sentenced to 34 years. So in that process, from 2000 to 2011, which is when I was released from prison, I started Project Detour, which is a mentoring organization. But anyway, just to kind of make a long story short, I'm one of those guys in Louisiana that was young, Black, undereducated, and underfinanced. And they threw a murder charge on me and they locked me up. Interstate complex, slave patrol, just pick you up from on side of the road and take away pretty much your entire youth. They take away your entire destiny, your faith, anything that you had belief in. And at that particular time, I didn't have belief in anything but destroying things, chaos. And that same thing that I put into the streets when I was 16, now today, I'm putting into it for good. But to clarify it, I was innocent. I didn't commit those charges. I don't even know who got murdered. It was 2 white people in my neighborhood that was found dead, and somebody said Kiki did it, and they come to the house, and next thing you know, I'm in jail. I'm doing lineups, and shit was so fast I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So by sitting in prison all of those years, I'm very autodidactic as far as I educated myself. I grabbed everything that I can read. I read everything that I got my hands on, and I tried to just further myself and prepare myself because I know that wasn't my choice, so this must be my purpose, So I walk those walks like Daniel walked to the lion's den, you know what I mean? And not saying that was the overall mission, but when I say another Kiana, I mean that there are still 16-year-old Black boys in my community that are undereducated and don't have that proper tool, mentor or mentor or leadership in their existence, and they ended up in the same situation that I did, just prison, their life rotting away. And I had to discover who I was inside of a barbed wire fence, inside of a cage. That's why
it's difficult. Like that's one of the most difficult places to find out who you are.
Yeah, because how does that the effect on your mental health? Like how has that affected you in ways, or there's healing from that, or how have you moved from that space?
Well, my first day entering prison, like the prison, not the jail, waiting trial. Once I was convicted and sentenced to life, the first thing that I really locked inside of my existence is that you can imprison my physical, but you can't imprison my mind. No way, shape, form, or fashion I will allow you to have me in a state to where I become so much in tune to this situation that I forget about my promise. And moving forward, I continue to do that now. As far as suffering or having to deal with mental wellness, excuse me, it's 10 years home, and I still have to kind of understand that I have full autonomy of my existence. So I have to be real cautious of what I say, what I do, the way I act, and understand that sometimes I'm uncomfortable with a lot of situations due to my upbringing. But I still have to adapt and understand that this is bigger than me. You know what I mean? So I know that long as I do right and stay fast, that man, I could walk on any streets around here. It's just like throwing me in Iraq right now. You know what I mean? Just give me what I need to survive, and I'm good.
Yeah, which is what it's like. I was on the phone with him the other day, and he said two. Actually, I called right after, and two dudes with choppers, like would just shot somebody next to you, right?
Yeah.
What was the
Oh
story?
my goodness.
But also just kind of to speak on what you just talked about on the project that we did. There was one guy that was talking about the effects after, like he would have dreams of being in jail, so he didn't know which one was real, right? And the idea of you dream and you're dreaming of in jail, right? And it's like you never get out, right?
Yeah.
And then that's extremely traumatizing. But I guess I want to ask too, like when just kind of going back to the youth. A lot of these things happen from miseducation, right? And really not knowing yourself and learning yourself. What would you think are some things that we could do, or how can we help get that information to these young guys so they don't just hear young boy and that's all they know, right? Or kind of somehow making yourself better and getting an education more of a drive and not trying to be hard.
Yeah, and care.
Yeah, and care.
We were talking about that earlier. Young people just having, I remember when I was younger, we're all young, you have this sense of like, we have all this time in the world. Sometimes we feel invincible. Sometimes we feel like things don't pertain to us, or it's not going to happen to us.
Right.
And so how do you get a young person to care about these things?
You gotta listen to them. You gotta see what they care about. That's first and foremost. Like, one thing I understand is that we can lead a horse to the well, but we can't make them drink. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to be understanding enough to allow them to come to that conclusion, which will be the same conclusion that you expected them to come to. You know what I mean? So basically listening, man. And one thing I can say, if they don't want to talk, they're not going to talk.
True.
So you can't force it out of them. You can't sit there for hours and hours and expect that to happen, because understanding that what one young guy told me yesterday, one of my cohorts just come home from serving juvenile life sentence, went in at 12. They sent him home 2 weeks before his 20th birthday. So, we actually had the cake and everything for him. First time he had a cake, people singing birthday to him in those many years. So I actually saw him lock up the other day. And when he locked up on me, I walked out the room on him. You know what I'm saying? And he come behind me. The first thing he said was, "Man, I never expect you to walk out on me." And I said, "I never expect you to lock up on me." You know what I'm saying? But it comes with the trust factor. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring you and give you all of the necessities that you need, but it's up to you to apply them properly. You know what I'm saying? Like forcing a triangle through a circle, or a rectangle through a square. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say, okay, you think it could fit, make it fit. If it fit, then that's your invention. You invented it. Right. And that's basically like understanding what you're doing, understanding how you're doing. Right now, we have a high rise of juvenile car burglaries and a high rise of juvenile, vagrancy, or however they're trying to structure these laws to where they're just walking out in the middle of the night, pulling up door handles, going inside of these cars, or busting windows. Or going inside these cars.
But that's kind of like normal, like that's all stuff we did as a kid. Like when I think about all the dumb things I did as a kid, I can remember my mentality not understanding first consequences. Secondly, it was just you just having fun. Like it literally was just this was fun. Like it was a rush, and but we also didn't have as much information. So now like I feel like maybe it's just me just being older, but I'm like, how do you not know that this is the wrong path right now, right? Is it because of poverty? Maybe they don't have as much access to the internet, or where do you think the disconnect is?
Not having nowhere to go, no proper resources.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you were 17 and you were doing those stupid things, JD, cutting up like that, and you had a space called, just say per se, the Healing Center, 24 hours a day. You know, you have your vice room, whatever however you want to cut up, but this space is occupied by psychologists and social therapists, people that could come and understand what's going on, but they're just like me and you. You know, and when you sit down at this bar, or you sit down in front of this PS4, or you do whatever you do, shoot pool, but you have a person that's having this conversation with you, trying to figure it out, right? Because we're stuck trying to figure it out. Everybody should, let's stop trying to figure it out and figure it out. Like, sit down and listen.
Do it, yeah. Just talk, yeah.
Because there's a way for it. There's a way for it. There's a solution to all problems, and we all know the closer to the problems are the closer to the solution. We have to just kind of figure it out. Sit back and see how can you best be placed into this space to where you can occupy it and bring pure prosperity, pure positivity in so many different ways, man. It's crazy.
A lot, right?
It's crazy that $720 million are being allocated to the state of Louisiana annually to incarcerate people, when only less than $12 million is being funded to our state for education. It's crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We are the lowest in education, but we're the highest in incarceration. So that kind of shows you about our state. Now,
but being in the fight, have you said that to any of the government officials? What is their response to that? That's a good one.
He gave you a Denzel laugh.
Right.
Man. Come on, man. We dealing with systems. We're not dealing with people. These people are pawns in these chairs, man.
That's a fact.
We're dealing with
I remember when we were talking about the protests last year, a big part of it was about defunding the police. And in that space, when I educated myself on what that truly meant, as far as not allocating so much of the budget, and I remember here in LA, the budget was public, so you could see how much money was going to the police and education and community programs. And it's like, well, why the gap is so huge. Whereas if we put money into our communities, put money into the education system, or and it could, there's this sense of being able to govern ourselves and govern our communities. So I completely agree with that.
I can hear the rhetoric being, obviously you need more help in the prison system than you need in the schools. I don't know. I don't know. I know.
I think community programs. I think, same, like I grew up in New York City. My parents were really strict. And if it wasn't for after school programming or the arts,
keeping them busy,
because the arts are not in, grew up in public school.
Yeah, of course.
So if not for the arts programs, I probably would have been, pregnant.
What do you remember from school? I don't remember. I may remember a middle school teacher, Mr. Gregory. Shout you out if you out there. But I don't remember anything from school, and I remember not paying attention. I remember cheating a lot. Like, there was just nothing.
I remember that's why I fell in love with dance and creativity. And for me, as I'm a dancer, I'm an artist now. And again, I didn't grow up in the dance studio. I didn't grow up. My parents, they did the best we could. They're immigrants to this country. So they put me in school. And if not for these programs or these places for me to go, I didn't even know you could make money being a dancer.
Yeah, I didn't know about studying abroad.
I didn't know none of this
GPA
stuff.
Or anything.
You know what
like
I mean?
That.
So it's very important.
Want to shout out my sister in the building, Tiffany. I see you. Dante, I see you out there. Dante is actually one of the younger guys that I knew in Iowa, who kind of got into gang life. I'm happy to see you doing good things out there. Keep doing positive shit. But it's easy to get lost into kind of gang life and different things because it's a family, right? And you feel like you're in this family and you're protected. Do you run into a lot of kind of gang affiliations in your work? And how do you kind of get people to kind of break away from that gang life mentality, Kiana?
Hey, man, I walk by faith and not by sight. So, a lot of that, a lot of worldly things don't amuse me. You know what I mean? I've walked in spaces with guys that, it's life, man. And I'm the type of person I meet you where you are because I'm here.
Right.
You know, I'm not one of these guys that's standing up with the, and that's trying to take all the photo ops and, you know what I mean, call the news every time they do an event, you know what I'm saying, every time they do give away some turkeys or something, they got a million cameras out there. That ain't how I rock, man. You know what I'm saying? I meet people.
I hear you on that, but have you ever like considered like maybe that's necessary? Like, I mean, I know when you look at it, it feels like you're kind of selling your soul.
It's the work. JD is the work. Now, if it comes to a point to where I feel it's time for me to galvanize enough funds to put together something that's bigger than what I can do, then I need to get a market and promoting team that's going to follow me while I do this work. But I'm not going to be standing there talking about, hey, let me stand over here and get this picture or take this shot over here. That's not for the work, man. That's for the sake of doing the work. You know, people walk it, but they don't talk it. And I'm not shitting or I'm not throwing fingers, but you know, we have people that's really poverty pimping. You know what I mean? And that I don't really agree in. When you got people that's struggling and suffering every day, really trying to speak for the marginalized populations, no matter who you may be. I feel that everybody should be heard and everybody should have their part to play in this democracy. So that the revolution will not be televised. You know, we got social media, we got all of that extra stuff to bring up the Freddie Grays and the Alton Sterlings and the Eric Harrises and we having all of this now to show that we have been targeted, we have been killed, we have been robbed, we have been raped, we have been brutalized. You know, we have all of this now, man. So the only way that we can structure the way that we live in on ground is that we have to change the laws that we're abiding under. You know, we have to.
And I have a question. And this is coming from a place of someone who just doesn't really know how this process works. So forgive me if it sounds.
There are no bad questions. You're good.
I know you say that, and then he gonna
I'm gonna laugh at you after the show.
But how long does it take to change legislation? It just feels like it takes, in my mind, it feels like it takes forever, but I could be just like projecting that onto the situation.
That's how they get you.
How like typically, or is there even a typically long time span for how long a piece of legislation can take to get passed?
Well, it actually depends on what type of legislation you're trying to pass. Basically, at this particular point in the day and age, we're only amending legislations unless you're changing the Constitution amendment, because you know we're still working to restructure broken foundation, which we the people really excludes a lot of people today, and that's day one. But to actually change legislation or rewrite legislation or alter legislation is only probably a 3-step process. The House, the Senate, and then the overall committee, being as though that the type of outreach and the type of understanding with targeted. Actually, the HB 707, which is the Fair Chance in Hiring Act that we just passed this year in legislation, we've been working on it for maybe about 5 years.
Wow.
Like, really working on it to say that I'm talking about just, man, organizing, writing policies, passing local ordinances in so many different levels, but the state just didn't want to hear it because there's a lobby group called Lobby that's really over the enforcement mechanisms of Louisiana, and they just wasn't hearing it. But just happened this session here, after all the organizing that we've done, all of the extra work that we've put in, leg work that we've put in, all of the changes that we did from last year, we came through with it, and we didn't even have to appear because Lobby was sitting at the table. And I think that was the biggest piece. Having these conversations, not inside of the state capitol, but walking to Lobby's office and say, hey, you either going to rock with us or we're going to have 75 people sleeping in front of your mama front door tomorrow.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna give you some more for the work, man, because it's necessary. But you know, I think. Go ahead, it's people's. Go ahead.
It's people's power, and that's the only way we're gonna be able to do it. And that wasn't the strategy that we used, but it was an honor to have Lobby sitting at the table with us. I want nobody to blow that out of proportion. You understand me?
Right.
It was some.
But that's huge.
Yeah, it was some good work. It was some good work that we did, and it was an honor that Lobby come to the table and kind of willing to work with us to add more enforcements to that piece.
Right.
Because right there, that one there just prohibits the discrimination for people formerly incarcerated that's applying for these jobs, meaning that you will not get looked over by your criminal background history, rather than you will have the opportunity to get it due to your marriage. You know what I mean? So I think that is huge. It gives more guys the morale to actually start filling out these applications to be engineers.
Exactly, because that's the biggest part. Because most of the time you're like, I got this felony, they ain't gonna hire me, or they're gonna treat me like a felon, right? And just to kind of touch on like even just the Black struggle in a sense, right? I know we kind of talked about this a couple of times, but is there a way, just in your opinion, to kind of move forward and fight for equality without talking about the past? Because I feel like I was even talking about this with my sister who's here. Shout out Tiffany Pitts. But it's like, to make people understand what's happening, you really have to take them through the full story. Like you can't just say, "Oh, it was slavery," and we were oppressed. Like you really have to tell them how the people were basically not allowed to evolve, and there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of people who just gave up. Yeah,
there have been restrictions on.
Right. So do you feel like it's important to tell the history, or is there a way we can move forward, in your opinion, without going through all the, pro-Black stuff and trying to get everybody caught up?
So this is the thing. You cannot escape history when we're living in it today.
Right. True.
You know what I mean? So how can you not say that my blood had endured the same unresolved trauma, struggles and torment and brutality that I've endured today, but it's just not so open right now.
Right.
Being as though it's not that people are trying to hurdle the color lines. We're not trying to go into a white bathroom or a Black only bathroom or drink out the white only faucet. It's a systemic racism that we're dealing with.
Right.
Like I said, we're fighting systems right here. So in order for us to, like me personally, I have to speak about the past because that's my current today. As a Black man, if I was little white Billy from Eastover, I would have had a psychological evaluation at 16. I would have had doctors come and see me. I would have had district attorneys or somebody speaking in my behalf because I'm little white Billy and this was in 1994. I'm not speaking about 2021.
Right. That's a fact.
So I'm speaking about 1994, not right now. See, right now we can look at it because it's not a racist act right now. It's a systemic race that we're dealing with. But
that's the separation.
You can't believe that incarceration is the direct ancestor of slavery. Then I think you need to go back and do some reading.
You do, and I remember I was even telling you about my friend Siaka. Shout out Siaka. Who I actually, I agree with a lot of things he says, but when you start talking about the other stuff, like he goes to his, victim mentality stuff, right? And I can understand what he's trying to say. Like, if you're thinking about all the things that happened to you, then you're trapped in that victim mentality and you could just move forward. But I'm trying to connect with him as well about how that has actually built me as a person, that I want justice for these actions. And it's just like speaking out and fighting back. It's not me complaining and whining and saying, "Oh, poor me." It's just saying, I want justice for what I've been through and what I've had to fight through. Would you agree with that? Or do you feel like just being trapped in that is a part of being a victim?
Well, if you've never been victimized, then you wouldn't know how a victim feels.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of kept cup half empty, cup half full situation. Because I'm never the one to try to make sense of your thoughts in so many different ways. Like, if that's how you feel, if you like it, I love it. Like Jay-Z said, what shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but if we were to have a educational step back, move back conversation, agree to disagree conversation, I think that a valid point would be that if you're from America, and I'm not going to say our past, coming over here in the boat and all of that, because they're still trying to teach that Christopher Columbus discovered it. So it's a way that we need to understand the real narrative.
Right.
How many people voluntarily came this way, thinking that they're going to seek freedom, because a lot of the first four guys, they actually came over here in actually voluntarily to come over here and to be into servitude, placed into servitude to actually help develop this space. And they got a few acres of land, and they were from Africa, and they were black, and it has a lot of narrative around it. But understanding that once we got here, it was just we never spoke the same narrative. So that's how we became victimized by us. And till this day, it's hard for us, our people, whoever have the like minds, like shared values, and you could be orange, blue, green, purple, yellow, camel toe, whatever color you are. If you want to commonly understand how we do this, we have to just get on one accord. And that one accord is like getting at a room, planning it. If Zoom made it official right now to where we can have over 100,000 people on one call.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Make it happen.
Right. Yeah, and it should happen. And I think there's a lot of people in the Black community and even other communities that they understand that it's about community. It's about coming together, yet it still doesn't feel like we're coming together, right? It still feels like we're all very separate. And building that type of wealth and amongst each other, spending in our own neighborhoods. Like, I think we've heard it, but how do we obviously get that into the neighborhoods like that you're talking about, these troubled neighborhoods? How do we build
I
there?
think, and just to kind of say something about that real quick, is just I think that's what Kiana is doing, and I think that's what going back into our communities, and and I'll speak on my experience specifically this past year. For me, I've learned so much about I think 2020 was a great year to unveil and really bring to the forefront a lot of the problems, the systemic problems that this country has. And for me, that I'm a Latin woman, whatever, mixed race, I'm not a Black woman, but to be able to not understand, but see things that I didn't quite see, even in myself.
Right.
Innate things that I like, privileges that I was attaining, and seeing how the different communities are affected. I think it has really taught a lot of people. It taught me a lot about creating generational wealth, going back into our communities, spending money into our communities, into buying from Black businesses and women-owned businesses, and what really matters is doing it that way. Because a lot while someone like Kiana's fighting for us in the legislative field, my question was, what can I do right now? How can I change? Because I protested, I did this, I did that, but how can I make a significant change with my power, my dollar?
Right. That's to you, Kiana.
Mm-hmm. Hey, appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate everything that you guys are speaking about, and I feel that it's definitely needed. Not saying that nobody don't need resources to do what they're doing. Man, I've been doing it on my dollars for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? And have a lot of people that would love to support me, but it's just basically me having the courage to ask. Like, that's been my problem. I don't know how to say, hey, I need help with this or I need help with that, unless it's something I really need help with. And sometimes I always say, I walk by faith and not by sight. God continue to just drop things in my lap, no matter what it is, man, no matter how it be. Like this conversation with y'all, and hearing that even on the West Coast, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of different dilemmas that we're going through. And like I said earlier to you, JD, if you've never been a victim, then you don't know how it feels to be a victim. You've never been victimized. Conversations that we had when you was telling me kind of a little bit about your upbringing, you were like, but man, I really didn't know. But my people from down there, and the only reason that you recognize is that when you came down here, you saw the difference. You've seen the different attitudes, you've seen the different personalities, you've seen the different feng shui. You know what I mean? So just basically understanding that we are a different breed in Louisiana, period, man. We don't only put with the, we you heard me, baby, gumbo, you heard me jump.
Yeah, I love it. I have my friends from Memphis.
I'm saying the weather is always nice. You come down, you can party. You probably one of a few states that you can walk through the quarters with an open beverage. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they have so many people that come down here and use our streets that we've paved and make millions off of them, man.
Right. Well, that's a perfect.
They use our pain and suffering. They use our pain and suffering and make millions off of it, man.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that's a perfect segue, man, because we're running out of time. But where can someone that wants to help out, like where can they find you? Where can they look you up? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to help. There's a lot of people that actually will help, and even without you asking, just seeing your passion. So where can they go? Where can they get in contact with you?
Well, definitely you could go to www.rootsofrenewal.org, rootsofrenewal.org. Check out the webpage. I don't do social media, so I can't tell you where to find me. Roots of Renewal has Instagram, I believe, and a Facebook. You can find me at Project Detour, Instagram and Facebook. You can email me at Calloway, rootsofrenewal.org, or you can email project.detour17@gmail.com. That's basically, oh man, you can call my phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I was
but
like,
we will make
if you want to
sure,
put that out
right,
there, they got.
Are you
Is he
single?
single?
Are you
Like,
single? Hey.
look, we gonna cause some trouble. You're gonna have 3 girlfriends in a week. Messing with us.
Right. You need something.
Y'all popping. I see y'all popping.
You're doing the Lord's work. Get out of here.
The Lord's work. But
but yes, no, we will make sure that we also put this up and share this. And if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later on, please make sure you share it, because this is what we can do. We always ask the question, what can I do?
Right.
If you can't, you can put your dollar, your money to work, or you can a simple share. The good thing about social media is that there's outreach. We can share information, and we can share as much as we share memes and funny stuff and everything that's going wrong with the world. We can share amazing things that people are doing. So
right. So yeah, Kiana, I really want to thank you for coming on, man. Like I'm a fan of all the work that you do. You're one of those people that I talk about when I say there are people working, there are people trying to do this, but obviously they may not get as much media coverage, or they're just doing it from their hearts. So, so thanks for being that person out there trying to help the youth and using your energy for good. So,
right,
we appreciate you, man. But we gotta get out of here. We got a few minutes. What's next? What are you working on? Anything in the works right now?
Well, right now, I'm working on a documentary that will be in the Sundance Film Festival this year. It's called Kiana's Mission.
Right.
That's dope. Working on.
Let me give you some of those.
Now they can bomb.
Directed by myself and also director named Carl Biker. Dope guy. Man, it's a few things. 40 for 40, which is a project that I did during COVID. I heard you guys speaking about COVID. COVID was beautiful for me. That's how I linked up with Dorado. We traveled Louisiana, man. I spoke to over 50 formerly incarcerated individuals, talked about post-incarceration syndrome, solitary confinement, collateral consequences after incarceration, just building up a whole little rapport, man, trying to get everything that I have ISB certified so it could go to research data, and that's going to be used for systems change. So a lot of these projects, man, just mixing my arts and culture and everyday walk of life, it's just me. So when the project drop, it's gonna drop abundantly. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, man. What I want you to do is just start a Facebook group page or something, so it's easier for people to get in contact with you and actually kind of join you on this mission. Because I know I have your YouTube page, but you don't have to use social media for the evils that it is. But it is a good way for people to get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Just stay away from the memes and the videos. Don't click.
You can't.
It's not really about that, JD. I just felt that I was taking, even though nothing is wrong with social media. It's just that when I had my 6 months or year and a half stint with it, I felt like I was spending more time.
Right. You feel like you have to cater to that. You have an audience now, so you almost feel like you have to cater your channel with.
Right. How you was just do you in front of the camera take pictures? Yeah, I see y'all live.
Right. It's a fact. I respect that. Even coming from an artist standpoint, as a dancer, I come from a bit of an older mentality where it's like, yo, you dance, you either nice or not. Yeah. And if you dance, you get down on the floor, on the dance floor in a cypher. Yeah. That's what really matters. And then you have this newer generation that's all about TikTok and putting their dance on display, and it feels gimmicky. And I know for me, if it's not organic, I can't do it. Right. So I have found a balance that works for me. But I totally can relate to that. It's like
Yeah.
when you're doing something from the heart, when it's authentic, you don't want to lose that authenticity by being like, now I'm on display.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I definitely relate. Everyone on my Facebook are actually personal friends. My Instagram sucks because I hate feeling like I'm faking. But but I always have to tell myself it is a part of the business. So if you're doing anything in this business, if you're doing it, like
right.
you gotta at least be there.
You know, you gotta find
Right.
what works for you.
And that's
You gotta
why I
find what
say
works for you.
that's why I say at least just start a group. Don't make it
Don't
your
t-
page.
don't pressure
right?
him.
No pressure.
Don't-
No
Yo.
pressure.
Hey, I'm gonna get a PR. I'm gonna get a PR
Come
person.
through that
This
screen.
is the
He
grown
will come
man.
through
He
that
is
screen.
not
Stop
going.
playing
He is
with
not going to give into no pressure.
I'm gonna get a PR person for that, man. I'm gonna get a PR person for that.
Right.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
you go.
There you go.
You
That's
don't
all.
even need to do
but that's
that,
all I'm saying. Do that.
JD.
Just do that. He did it.
You handle
So,
your page.
yeah,
He
he did what I said.
He gonna have
though.
somebody else handle his page. How about that? That's more of a boss move.
Right.
But yes,
Exactly.
shout out to you, Kiana.
Yeah.
I don't know you personally, but so much respect to you and everything you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to us and spreading awareness. And you've enlightened me a lot on what's going on. So
Right.
I appreciate you. And we're gonna keep up with him.
Yeah, exactly,
keep
man.
up.
Just so text me the info. We'll make sure to add it in this in the repost and put it in the comments. And if you want to help, you know what to do. Click and share. That is how you help. That is how you do your part. So do your part. All right, Kiana. We'll see you next time, man. Thank you for joining us. I'll probably hit you up, sometime this week. Let's chat.
Check out that element, man. Check out that element. Get some of that element.
Yes, shout out to Element. Wait, we gonna find out where we can.
Is it his music?
No, it's a beverage, man.
It's a beverage.
Yeah,
we like to shout out Black business.
We do.
Business. All
Got it. Yeah.
So we gonna get that social media handle so we can shout them out as well.
Does he have social media? He got social media?
Yes, you can get element social media. Yes, sir.
We'll add that and put that on. But all right, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you
so much.
And yeah, we're gonna do a check-in maybe in a couple months.
Yeah.
All right.
Work. That'll work. Y'all have a blessed one, man.
All right, you too, man. Thank you for joining.
Have a good night.
Give some horns as we go out. All right, so
that was a good one, man.
Yeah,
that was powerful. That was powerful.
And it comes from a real place, and you could just hear the genuine. Like I was even telling him because I'm from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and I lived a lot of my life in Houston, and it's just the vibe and just the community and it just feels like home.
Right.
I don't feel like I ever want to live there, but I can just feel like he's a New Orleans guy. He went through some struggles and he's fighting and doing what he can to help everybody else.
I love to see it, and I love to see because you could feel the authenticity of someone who's just doing what they do.
Yeah, just doing the work.
And you know, they don't necessarily always get the shine that they deserve because they're busy doing the work.
Yeah.
So, even for anyone out there who's watching this, who is interested in working with Kiana, reaching out that can help that aspect of his career or his journey. Also, I would tell you to feel inspired to do that. You know what I mean? Because people that are doing the work are so focused on doing the work and keeping it and preserving the authenticity of what they're doing.
And they need your support.
They need your support. They need your help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me give them some more bombs on that. What do we got? We always do this thing. I'm sorry.
But we got some really cool shows coming up. We're in the second half. And we're coming through with all the smoke.
We're coming downhill this.
Right. We on the second half. But yeah, so y'all keep tuning in. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in. I'm getting such dope feedback from people that are watching the show. And and if you guys have any ideas or anything you guys want to talk about, hit us up.
Yeah,
let us know.
Get in the comments.
We in there.
We're everywhere.
We literally talk about everything. Y'all just heard it here.
Right.
We went from sex to prison reform. It's crazy. We talk about it all.
We're everywhere at the JD and Kai Show.
Amen.
And we go live every Thursday. And make sure you follow where we go live from. And that's at Fired Up Broadcasting on YouTube. Yes. We usually share it here on Facebook. We're also on Facebook. They're on Facebook as well. Fired Up Broadcasting. So follow that as well so you get the notifications when we go live and just support us in our journey. Thank you guys for being here. And that's it.
Keep tuning in. Thank you guys.
Yeah. We're going to see y'all next week. And go get some Element.
Element. I want to get some.
Right. Is it alcohol?
Is it?
I don't know.
No, I don't think it's alcohol.
I'll be missing out. Anyway, we'll see y'all next